that I can spend a lot of time doing. So, with that being all said and done, we will return to our story. Last time we had played, we had just gotten back into town. We had run into our two. Well, first, before getting into town, we ran into some kind of weird thing out with the sheriff's deputies, or deputy. There was only one of them, and a strange female. I don't want to call her a child, but I don't think that she was an adult either. We then ran back into our old summer buddies, because the whole reason that we're here in the first place is that our grandfather has passed away, and we have taken over the store and his house. We've inherited them, which reminds me too. In the store, the mayor showed up. No, the guy who runs the bank. I think it was also the mayor. I don't remember, but he seemed a little weird about stuff. So anyways, uh, we had been on the phone with our buddy Adam. I think I'd gone through this page, but I'm going to go through it again and then get to the choices and continue. So here we go. Not bad. Mostly the same old, Adam says in his mock old man voice. Small town with all the pretense of a big city. Sure, we have Starbucks, trauma center, and a first-run dine-in restaurant. We connect to Wi-Fi on our iPhones to upload files to the cloud. We use emojis, take selfies, post them on our Snap. But in the same town, we drive down Main Street to get just about anywhere and see anyone. The barista at Starbucks knows us by name and gives us the usual. Unless you're behind a tractor, you don't worry about traffic. We still don't lock our doors at night. You really love this place and it shows. Makes me really glad I'm back. I love the Heights. Always have. I never want to leave. But his voice trails off and he hesitates. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. Even a town like the Heights has its ghosts, but I would never abandon it. Salem is so set on leaving, and that's her priority. I get mad when I hear it. My grave's already picked out in Serenity Park. Adam glances at his watch. Hey, I should get going. My dad's expecting me back at work soon. I'm at the bank, he says and makes air quotes with his fingers. Let me text you my phone number. The two of you spend a minute exchanging contact info, and then you walk ahead and hold the door open for him. Good to see you too. Stop over any time. I'll text you later. Adam smiles and rolls outside, and you let the door swing closed behind him. Next, I'm going to call Salem's house phone. I'm sure Grandpa had the number somewhere. In the living room sits an antique rotary phone your grandfather bought at a flea market in '03. Mrs. Pfeffercorn wanted $9.50, but Grandpa got her down to $6 after showing her the wires were frayed at the plug. He took it home and wrapped it in 25 cents worth of electrical tape. Since the utility bills haven't been paid, you're not sure if the house phone will work. You pick up the receiver anyways, and hear a dial tone. Your grandfather always kept a list in his end table drawer of contacts around Jericho Heights. You quickly find the number for the Morelli residence. Dialing the phone, you barely hear one ring before someone answers. Hello? Hello, Mrs. Morelli. This is Sky. Is Sarah there? Oh, Sky! How are you, dear? We're all so sorry about your grandfather. Let us know if there's anything you need while you're in the Heights. Thank you, Mrs. Morelli. Grandpa was always fond of you and your family. I'm still processing everything, but I appreciate your offer. You're welcome. Just remember, people in the Heights take care of one another. You may have left us for a time, but we still... Salem's voice shouts in the background. Mom, give me the phone! Oh my God, can I have a friend call without getting interrogated? You hear the phone shuffle. Honestly, Sarah, I'll treat you as an adult if you... Mrs. Morelli's voice trails off. Hey, I'm going into the basement with the phone, Salem says to you, and you hear her breathing race and heavy footsteps. Sorry about Mom. It's a constant struggle. I wish I could move out. No need to apologize. She means well. Besides, she'll move out eventually. Right now, you're focused on the GRE. Exactly, she says, her breathing returning to normal. It's not like I'm lazy. I help out around here and pay what I can. The library only offers part-time work for graphic artists at just over minimum wage. Other than that, an art degree only gets you so far. You're planning on going to grad school then? Yeah, for this art education fellowship at Pitt. It's a long shot, but I'm taking it. Salem sighs. So, what's going on with you? I'm surprised you called me so soon. You must really miss me. I do miss you. I wish I'd kept in touch with you all these years. That was my fault. Oh, you're getting emotional on me. I do have that effect on people, she says with a laugh. Seriously, though, I missed you too. We were so close as kids, but as adults, we all just slip away. I don't understand why it happens. Adulthood has a funny way of shutting out people who got us here. I know what you mean. I moved out of Jericho and all my friendships there ended. I got busy, met new people, and just stopped calling or emailing you and Adam, even Grandpa. It's like Jericho Heights exists in a different dimension. Sometimes it feels that way, she says. I better get going. I have a bunch of errands to run and a dinner party tonight. Keep in touch, stranger. I'm only across the street. A dinner party? Wait, are you going to Mayor Bumbly's? Yeah, my mom won tickets at last year's summer festival. Can you believe the mayor auctions off spots at his dinner parties? How'd you know we were going? I'm invited too. I'll see you there. Awesome, I'll be the chick brooding by the balcony. Catch you later. You hang up the phone. Next, you call a contractor to repair the property. Once again, you return to the rotary phone and the list of contacts your grandfather kept. Scanning the handwritten page, you spot a line for Virginia Barlow, contractor. You have a vague memory of Mrs. Barlow from the summers spent here. Your grandpa could hire her at least once a Your grandpa would hire her at least once a month, though it would end with them feuding and her leaving in anger, always shouting the same line, George Thompson, you're just a warthog's ass. A fart hog's ass. I kind of like that. I think I'm going to use that for a real insult. You're just a fart hog's ass. So, anyways, and her leaving in anger, always shouting the same line, George Thompson, you're just a warthog's ass. Whenever she saw you, she'd mess up your hair by petting your head and then give you a lollipop. You never knew where she bought them, but they were the best. You dial and hope it's the right number after all these years. A message clicks on. This is Barlow General Contractors. I'm out on a job. Call earlier next time. Leave a message after the beep. You recognize the high-pitched, gruff voice as Ginny Barlow's. After the tone, you hear an announcement that the mailbox is full. You hang up and consider other tasks on your list. Next, you market the store. As far as the town knows, Chapter 11 closed for good once your grandfather passed on. Not like the store gets good foot traffic. Marketing has never been your strongest skill, and you even find it difficult to talk about yourself in public, let alone a store. Setting aside your discomfort, you get started by working first on social media. Your grandfather never used Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, so you make a dedicated story account with each one of them. You're not sure how to drive people to them, but hopefully people will find them. Next, you drop a few signs and hang them in the window of the shop to announce Sunday's reopening. At least foot traffic and passing cars might see them. After thinking about all the marketing efforts you could make for the store, you remember your friend Sherry from back in Chicago. You haven't talked to her in a while, but saw something a few days ago on one of those annoying update emails from LinkedIn about Sherry's new job. You bring up your phone and search through the news feed. Congratulate Sherry Tompkins on her new job as Digital Marketing Specialist. Wonder if she can help to raise the profile of your store. You send her a quick text message. She answers immediately. Hey there, absolutely. I'll be in meetings all day, but we'll stay late and get to work. Create an admin account on your website so I can start making changes. Once we optimize your SEO, you'll see traffic. I can also ask our digital growth group to look over your social media and make some suggestions to raise your visibility. TTYL. You're relieved that she's helping you, and just as relieved that her life is back on track. While in college, she got sucked into a horrible relationship with an abusive partner. It took months to convince her that she should do bet. It took months to convince her that she could do better and that she didn't deserve the physical and mental torture. After a broken arm landed her in the ER on Thanksgiving Eve in your junior year, you were finally able to convince her to seek help and end that relationship. Hey, sus. I like the Kraken. I mean, octopus. The store door chimes once more, and you hurry to see who's coming in now. A teenage door. A teenager. Oh, wow. Thanks for the like, sus. Thanks for the like tally. Ah. The store door chimes once more, and you hurry to see who's coming in now. No, it's all right. You're not late. You're here. You made it. That's the good thing. Grab a drink, pull up a snack, find a comfy place on the couch, and enjoy the story hour. A teenage girl pushes the door wide and walks a beat-up dirt bike into the entryway. Hi there. We aren't quite open yet if you want to come back on Sunday. I know the store's not open. I can read signs. She has light brown skin and dark hair fashioned into braids which hang lower than her shoulders. Though it's warm outside, she's wearing long blue jeans and work boots with a t-shirt displaying a huge Gothic cross. She hauls a purple backpack covered in cats and rainbows off her shoulder and rests it on the floor. "What are you doing here?" she asks in a hurried tone. "I'm getting the store ready to open in a few days. What are you doing here?" Oh, okay, there we go. "I'm here to talk to you," she says, stepping off the bike. She lays it down half on a large welcome mat. "My name is Michaela Clark." "I'm Sky. I'm really busy, though, so is there something I can do for you?" She makes a circle around the store from the front door to the counter, to the first step of the shelves, and to the door again, scanning the stocked shelves. "You must know Mr. Thompson, who used to own this store. He was nice. He used to let me sit in here and do my homework or just hang out. When I was a kid, we watched old Western movies or these guys called the Three Stooges. Did you buy this place?" "I didn't buy it. I inherited it." "Come on." Okay, now the game is not exactly working. There we go. "Inherited it? So wait, he was your grandfather? Wow, I guess I see it," she says, and her look turns to sadness. In that moment, it's like a different person is standing there, an adult woman with an even older soul. "I miss him. He was one of my friends and the smartest person I ever knew. Yeah, I really miss him. He was the best. So, uh, hey, so what do you know about Bleak Rest House?" "That's a strange question. Everyone in town knows the history of the place." "No, I mean now. Would you know about the people who live there?" She stresses the word people. "Not much at all. I saw that it's been renovated, but other than that, I don't know anything about it." "The lady who owns it, her name is Ms. Amanda Chastain, and then there's Mr. Gabriel Jayfield." Her voice takes a sudden drop when she mentions Gabriel. "Okay, is there a reason you're telling me about them? Do you know them?" Michaela picks up her bike and turns the front toward the front door. Oh, that's talking about the bike. Michaela picks up her bike and turns the front toward the front door. "I have to go now. I'll be back again when the store opens. If you need help, I'm a hard worker and I know everything about this place. I'm fine with minimum wage." "That sounds like a good deal," you say, and hold the door open for her. "It is a good deal. Not expensive, and I don't require training. No brainer." She rolls the bike outside and stops just past the threshold. "You haven't been here long, so here's a piece of advice. Don't trust anyone in this town. Everyone has a motive." "Can I trust you, then?" Michaela smiles. "I'm the least of your worries, and your only real friend. Have a blessed night." Real friend. Her words bring up images of Adam and Salem. She rides away, the bike wobbly as it starts, leaving you watching her from the edge of the store. It's then that you realize the scent of raw garlic wafting away as she rides. At the corner, she picks up speed and merges into traffic, only a few cars away. A few light drops of rain begin to fall, and a thickness hangs in the air. Gray clouds move low across the sky, and it's so humid, you struggle to breathe. Returning to the store, you lock the door and feel a sudden need to flick the deadbolt and pull the shades closed. The hair on your arms stand, and you sit on the cool tile floor with your back to the wall, remaining there until you feel a sense of calmness. Chapter 3. Everyone loves a party. Night is not an absence of light, but in fact, it is daylight that is a brief respite from the looming darkness. Guillermo del Toro, The Strain. Marvin Bumpley lives at the epicenter of Jericho Heights, with the largest house on the highest hill. Rumor has it his great-grandfather took over the land from an orphanage that defaulted on a loan. The first Bumpley, possibly named Gregory, or even just John, converted the existing structure into his house. After the passage of 150 years, the home has been refurbished and renovated to the mansion today, known as Bumpley Manor. In all your summers staying with your grandfather, you never made it past the far gate onto the Bumpley property. Whether you cared or not was another story. People treated an invitation to the manor like finding a gold ticket to the chocolate factory. You make it to the main gate as night descends on Jericho Heights. There's a thick quality to the air, not due to weather or atmosphere. You feel a weight on your skin, so tight you can't sweat. Is it nerves? Maybe. Why, though? What's to worry about at a dinner party? Closing your eyes, you take deep breaths through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth while thinking of a calm place. It's a simple form of meditation, and one that always works. You imagine a verdant green meadow with a strange willow tree, its branches shaking in a light wind. Before you know it, you're walking to the shade of the tree. Barefoot, you feel the grass beneath your soles. It's perfectly peaceful, and you're feeling at ease. As you reach the old willow, you spot a figure in the distance. It stands straight and tall and moving. Its face is blurry and its body is dark and lacks detail besides hands dripping red. In an instant, the span of a blinking eye, the figure moves closer by a few dozen feet. More red drips from its hands, and its face has only a long, thin mouth with two dagger-like teeth. A feeling stirs in you, a primal urge of fight or flight. Your skin prickles and your mouth goes dry. All of your tranquility flashes away in that second. Are you going in? Oh, wait. Are you going to just stand there, or are you going in? You spin and spot a woman standing behind you. She's rummaging through a handbag perched precariously on her left knee while she balances on her right leg. The feeling of dread leaves you like it was never there. You don't even remember the scene that caused your fear. She pulls out some earrings, hikes the bag on her shoulder, walks around you, and opens the gate. Well, come on. You follow after her, still a bit disoriented. The path winds through a carpet of cut grass outlined in colorful flowers no taller than the strangely uniform green blades. One side of the lawn has rose bushes, the other a variety of distinct trees and a gazebo. As you near the house, you reach a fountain with two cherubs squirting water from their mouths. My name is Lacey Peddleton, by the way. She holds out her hand as she strides around the fountain. She's as tall as you and wearing a white blouse and navy pencil skirt, though her tennis shoes contrast with the business look. Her light brown hair sits in a bun on top of her head. Sky Thompson. You shake her hand. Lacey comes to a stop. Wait! You're George Thompson's granddaughter? That's me. Holy hell! What do you know? She says, and walks again. She loops one of the earrings through her earlobes. George was a lesson around here to many of us. He didn't take anyone's crap. It's so nice to meet... Wait, sorry. You're here because I wish we could have met under better circumstances. I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, geez, I'm just chattering like one of my sixth graders. My grandfather was a legend to you? Why is that? Lacey wrinkles her forehead. He was always outspoken and truthful, iconoclastic even. Say what you want about him, but George stood up for the people in this town. The two of you come to the end of the driveway, below a set of marble stairs. The exterior is red brick, with stone columns supporting a second-floor balcony. Lights shine from two gigantic windows, though royal blue curtains block you from seeing inside. The soft sound of classical music plays in the home. Lacey sits on the steps and takes a pair of black heels out of her oversized bag. Pencils, lipstick, a tiny notepad, and a Nintendo Switch spill out of the bag onto the ground. I bend and pick up the fallen items for her. You grab the pencils and notepad while she picks up the game and lipstick. Thanks, I came right from school and didn't clean out my bag. I'm vice principal of Jericho Heights Middle School. So you're saying that's not your Switch? I didn't say that, she replies with a grin. She stuffs the items back in her bag and slips off her tennis shoes and socks. Enough about me. How did you gain the privilege of an invitation to a bumbly soiree? I'm wondering the same thing. He came by my grandfather's store and asked a lot of questions. Either it's a genuine display of neighborliness or he has ulterior motives. I see. Well, this is only the third time I've been here, and it's always for a dinner party. She slips on the high heels. Her shapely calves flex, and you stare until she looks up. It's an open bar, and the food's always out of this world. At the least, you'll leave drunk and well-fed if you want. She reaches into her bag and takes out a compact and a tube lipstick. An iPhone falls to the ground. Its case displays the gold and crimson colors of the school. She picks it up and puts it back in her handbag. I'm always losing this thing. A breeze blows rose petals across the lawn and onto the driveway. From the direction of the entry gate comes footsteps on gravel and the sound of voices. Lacey applies the lipstick. Sounds like more people are arriving. She returns the lipstick and mirror to the bag. Should we head in? You nod, and the two of you ascend the few steps to the double doors, the classical music and light laughter more prominent now. A man in the formal gray suit, who seems to be the butler, invites you into a two-story square foyer. And straight through A man in a formal gray suit, who seems to be the butler, invites you into a two-story square foyer and straight through a pair of French doors. You're led to a grand hall where classical music flows from tall speakers in the corner. The room is decorated in a pattern of dark colors with gold and pink accents. Wow! I'm trying to do the best I can. The room is decorated in patterns of dark colors with gold and pink accents and Greek and Roman statues. Wood panels coat the ceiling while the walls are covered in an embellished covering thicker than wallpaper. This is what I call gaudy chic, Lacey says, leaning in with a whisper. Marvin is rich. Fine. This place looks like a mix of designers from London, Italy, Russia, and Japan all get into a fight over who can spend the most and still make it look like a hotel from the 40s. Have you ever wondered why rich people buy all this? Is it to impress other people, or do they really stand around and admire it? From an archway comes Mayor Bumpley, wearing a beige suit and a bow tie, his grayish-black hair slicked back like a 1920s film star. He's changed out white gloves for brown. He carries out a silver tray with long-stemmed glasses half filled with white wine. When he sees you, he smiles and strides towards you. It's so lovely to see you, he calls out. As he steps closer, he hands off the tray to his butler. Thank you for coming, Skye. This place is amazing. Any chance I can get a tour? Mayor Bumpley smiles politely and looks around the hall like it's the first time he saw it. Today may not be the best day for a tour, but you can have a rain check. Just so you're aware, guests are asked to stay in the grand hall, the patio, the garden, and of course, the dining hall. So is the city paying for this party, or your diners? Or hell, maybe it's just us taxpayers footing the bill? Lacey gives the mayor a mocking smile and slaps his upper arm. Mayor Bumpley smiles courteously. Lacey, it's so wonderful for you to show up. After that town council meeting, I'd imagine you'd avoid leaving home. He laughs, so Lacey does the same. It's been a while since I've been to your house, Lacey says, and then puts her hand to her mouth to pretend that she's telling a secret. Or, as I call it, the house predatory loans built. They both laugh again, and you chuckle awkwardly with them. Pardon me, I need to attend to my hors d'oeuvres, Mayor Bumpley says. Reginald, did you pull out the quail eggs with caviar? Lacey scoffs as the mayor waltzes off to his kitchen. So, how's about I give you a rundown on the notable guests here? She points to a tall woman by the kitchen. The model-esque lady in the $5,000 outfit is Martina Lobo. She's a doctor with her own boutique practice, a wellness clinic or something where they serve wine spritzes after your hot yoga class. Not really, but you get the picture. You look over at an olive-skinned man by the bar. And him, who's he? Lacey takes a glass of champagne off a short pyramid display of glasses and drinks half of it. That's Marcus Williams. Comes from one of the richest families in DeKalb County, no matter how much he tries to pretend otherwise. He used to be deputy sheriff, but got wrapped up in a scandal. Honestly, I don't like spreading rumors, so I'll leave it there. She swallows down the rest of her drink and picks another glass off the pyramid. She keeps her eyes on Marcus, and you see the hint of a smile. You walk with her along the length of the room until you arrive near the exit of a garden, when you see Sheriff Ray smoking a cigar. That Clint Eastwood look-alike is Sheriff Raymond Allstair, Lacey says, drinking half of the contents of her glass again. He has part of his lung removed 2 years ago. He's still smoking like a Texas barbecue. Habits aside, he's a cornerstone of our community. When an angry parent painted an obscene graphic on my Civic, not only did Sheriff Ray find the guy, he made him pay for a paint job for my car and wear a shame sign during a PTA meeting. A shame sign? Lacey wears a self-satisfied smile. It's read, I draw penises on cars when I'm angry. She downs the rest of the champagne. I see a parent that I need to talk to over by the hot plates. Catch up with you later, my new friend. She cuts away towards the buffet table. It's still early in the cocktail hour, giving you time to explore or speak with a guest. Ooh, and I have a choice of them. I can speak to Dr. Martin Lobo, who's near the kitchen, Marcus by the bar, Sheriff Ray, who's smoking a cigar in the yard, rooms on the western end of the house, or the rooftop deck, where I could see all of Jericho Heights from up there, including Bleak Rest House. I'm going to take that as a hint that I should go and see all of Jericho Heights, including Bleak Rest House. I have to actually choose. There we go. You climb the grand stairs to the second floor and search along the upper level until you find the door leading up to the roof. Half expecting it to be locked, you're pleasantly surprised to find it open, and you take the narrow staircase to the top. It ends in a rectangular swing door, which you push open and climb out to a furnished deck. Wicker sofas and chairs are set around a tiled area, and off to one end stands a wooden bar covered in blue canvas. A fire pit sits in the middle of the deck, though it's unlit and cold. Though the whole place looks like an amazing spot for a gathering, you're up here alone. You look out across Jericho Heights in the still night. A few birds fly against the black backdrop of the starless sky. A breeze blows across the rooftop, and with it comes the aroma of the food cooking in the kitchen below. Underlying it comes a scent of something far less savory, something earthen and old. You were only 6 years old when your grandmother died, but you still vividly remember the smell of the cemetery. She was buried at Serenity Park, and to this day, whenever you catch that smell from the grave, you grow cold and have a sense of unease. Even now, you feel the need to look over your shoulder every once in a while as if you're being watched. Then you see it. Bleak Rest House. It stands not so far away, but it seems small and not so imposing as it once did when you were a teenager. Maybe all the stories of your youth piled one on top of the other until you could no longer see the house for what it was, a crumbling old mansion. As an adult, you know it's only made of wood and stone and brick. The horrors you once imagined are decades in the past. As you walk closer to the edge of the deck, you see a figure standing on a balcony of Bleak Rest House. Could this be the owner? What did Michaela call her? Amanda Chastain? Chastain. Amanda Chastain? The figure turns to you as if she knows you're watching. A sudden feeling creeps over you, something unsettling. You thought you were alone, but with her looking in your direction, it no longer feels that way. You fan yourself to cool down, though the hairs on your arms stand straight up. You swallow hard to clear a dry mouth, and you wipe your forehead with the back of your hand. When you look back at the figure, she stands pressed against the stone railings and gives you a slight wave. Something tells you to back away, but you stand there. Your arm raises, and you wave back. It's a reflex, and you don't even think about it until it happens. Why did you feel this way? What is the strange intensity between two people waving at one another from rooftops? You take a deep breath and let it out slowly. The air cools your skin, and you feel in control of your body again. The woman on the balcony waves again, spins, and glides through glass doors into the home. Did you just meet the owner of Bleak Rest House? You've been out here long enough, away from the party. With one final look around Jericho Heights, you turn and head inside. A woman strides into the hall with a gray powder suit, and the other guests all turn and greet her. Like the Queen of England, she smiles and waves at her court. "I didn't know Kendra Clark was coming," one guest says. "She reported on Monroe Duncan's disappearance. I can't believe she's still missing it after all this time." "I'm just glad this is an adults-only party," says another guest. "Her daughter's such a weird child. Michaela may be a bit eccentric for her age, but she's not that bad. This is the first you're hearing about a missing person in Jericho Heights." The grandfather clock shows you're halfway through the cocktail hour, leaving you time to speak with one other guest or look around the manor. Lacey has appeared on a balcony overlooking the grand hall. Next, you walk to. We're going to approach Sheriff Ray smoking a cigar in the yard. The night air holds a slight chill common in Jericho Heights at this time of year, but it strikes you with a sudden jolt when you step into the garden. The smell of rose and lavender mixed with the pungent aroma of Sheriff Ray's cigar. I want to try that all again. I honestly didn't like how that read. The night air holds a slight chill common in Jericho Heights at this time of year, but it strikes you with a sudden jolt when you step into the garden. The smell of rose and lavender mixes with the pungent aroma of Sheriff Ray's cigar. He stands outside wearing his uniform. As you approach, he puts out the cigar on the stone rim of the fountain. He's always been a bit of a grouch, and you doubt the passing years have changed that. "Well, well, well, here's my favorite summer part-timer. How the hell are you?" "I'm doing well. I just moved to the Heights to take over my grandfather's store." He nods, but keeps his eyes forward. You can now see his focus rests on Bleak Rest House, the hilltop home down the road from Bumbley Manor. "Heard about your Gramps. Sorry for his passing. Haven't been in the store in years. Maybe I'll stop in and check things out." He holds up the extinguished cigar, strikes the head of his lighter, and brings the flame to the tip. Once it's burning, he puffs at the end, causing smoke to blow. "You know that place?" he asks. "Bleak Rest House?" you say. Everyone in Jericho Heights knows that house. In the 70s, it was the site of one of the worst series of murders in the country since Henry Howard Holmes. Silas Bleakrest lured his victims to their death over the course of a 3-year killing spree, years before law enforcement coined the term serial killer. Being part of the sheriff's office, you must know a lot about it. I'd rather hear what he knows about it. The sheriff takes a hard drag on his cigar. "As early as 1972, Silas Bleakrest, musician by trade, started luring folks to his home on the top of the hill. It was said he played music to attract those passing by. He even tutored citizens on
He even tutored citizens of Jericho on piano and violin. In 73, the body of a young man was found in the Stillview Reservoir, his ears cut off and fingers missing. In 74 and 75, two more bodies were found each year. Bodies mutilated beyond identification, all missing ears and fingers.
Sheriff Ray takes a puff on his cigar and clears his throat.
I was a deputy back then, not long out of the academy. While on duty one night, I took a cruiser out to the blind spot on the southern end of the reservoir, right by Junction Road.
I know where you mean, you say. He nods.
We used to catch people speeding or drag racing or other foolishness back then. That one particular night, I spotted a man on the road running toward me, flagging me down. He was wearing a blue gown and nothing else, was bleeding from his head. When he finally got to my car, he collapsed. That's when I found he was wearing a hospital gown with nothing underneath and his right ear had been cut off.
That's unbelievable.
Took me a while to get over the shock of what I saw that night. That man, Lawrence Chisholm, told me about all the horrors he endured at the hands of Silas Bleakrest and passed out in my cruiser. Within hours, we had a search and arrest warrants. We called in state troopers from Springfield and raided the house at the crack of dawn.
Sheriff Ray's eyes take on a faraway glaze.
30 of us moved on that house. Silas was gone, but we found his workshop in the basement, along with irrefutable evidence of the crimes.
Did you ever find him? He squeezes his eyes shut and pinches the bridge of his nose.
Police picked him up in Milwaukee 2 days later. On transport, he attempted escape, grabbed policeman's firearm, was gunned down.
Whatever happened to the guy who escaped?
Larry Chisholm, poor guy, spent a few days in the ICU, but succumbed to blood poisoning from his injuries. After he passed out, he never regained consciousness, only muttered some phrases. Ever been to Bleak Rest House?
Once I had quite an experience there. He turns to you for a moment, his eyes growing wider.
Oh?
You swallow hard. I haven't told this story in years. It was my birthday. I was in Jericho visiting my grandfather, but happened to be hanging out with my two friends. You probably know them, Sarah Morelli and Adam Bain. Sheriff Ray shrugs.
I know the families. Go on.
We were all hanging about near Bleak Rest Hill, right outside the cemetery gates, when Salem, we call her that now, but her name's Sarah, well, she dared Adam and me to run through the graveyard. After we did that, we kept one-upping each other until finally she dared us to go in Bleak Rest House. Not even just inside, but she wanted us to go to the basement where he, did,
His workshop.
You swallow hard again. Yeah, that's what people called it. The house was locked and boarded, and I refused to go in. It wasn't right to break in, and I was raised not to break the law. You continue. I told them if they wanted to get in trouble, they could do it. Adam stepped up, and I argued with him, explained that the house had been abandoned for years and could be dangerous. He wouldn't listen.
So you went in, did he?
You take a deep breath and nod. He found a loose board in one of the first floor windows and climbed inside. He was gone for a while. I still remember it vividly, especially because it was close to curfew. My grandfather never let me stay out past sundown back then. So Adam went in the house and stayed in there for a long time, or at least it seemed that way. Turned out to be only 10 minutes. Sheriff Ray lifts his foot, stamps the ground, and twists his leg with the tip of his boot. When he moves his foot, you spot the squished carapace of a bug.
Go on.
Me and Salem listened from outside. At first, we heard a groaning like floorboards stretching under sudden weight, but those groans turned longer, deeper. They sounded human, but not normal. We pressed our ears to the wall, and it felt warm and wet. Your hands feel clammy, and you're breathing fast. So fast it's hard to catch your breath. Your vision blurs, and blackness creeps in from the corners. You take several deep breaths and feel the cool evening air fill your lungs.
You all right?
Sheriff Ray asks. Yeah, I haven't told that story in years. You take another deep breath, and your vision clears.
Past holds a lot of power over us. Stores our fears, our guilt, our passions. Releasing them into the present can have unpredictable effects.
That's very true. Telling you about me, just telling you about my past has me rattled. He smirks.
Why don't we finish your story another time? Dinner's almost ready.
Yep, good idea. Talk to you later. You turn toward the house and head inside, catching Sheriff Ray's waving hand in his reflection in the mirror. You check your watch and see cocktail hour is half over. There's still time to kill. So you check out. Now, when I went to talk to him, I thought story cocktail hour was half over. So I'm starting to wonder if I'm stuck in a time loop. We're going to talk to Marcus by the bar. You make your way to the wooden bar and slide onto a stool next to Marcus. He holds a glass and rattles the ice cubes inside. His tailored shirt looks too small and tight for his muscular frame, and his naturally black hair looks dark brown in the dim light of the bar area. With his sleeves rolled up, you see a number of black and gray tattoos peeking out. He turns his head in your direction and offers a courteous smile.
I can't wait for dinner to start, he says. I'm not big on appetizers unless it's wings or chicken fingers. Marv only serves rich people apps like avocado rinds and pumpkin seeds. I should have known I should have hit up Carter's before this.
I haven't been to Carter's in years. Their potato salad was amazing. A bartender steps over to him. Another cranberry juice, sir.
Shaken, not stirred.
The bartender points to you. Can I get you anything? You order, and the bartender prepares both drinks and places them in front of the two of you. Marcus turns and looks at you like he's trying to figure you out.
You look familiar. Do we know each other?
We haven't met, but everyone in town seems to know my grandfather, George Thompson. He squints his eyes and stares up in thought.
I've heard the name, but don't know him. You here visited?
He passed away and left me his store, Chapter 11. I'm thinking about moving back to town to run it.
Fuck, I'm sorry, he says. You should totally move to town. We need cool people in the Heights.
I'm cool? He nods with confidence.
I can tell these things. Wait, did you like your grandfather?
Did I like my grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather was a dick, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist one. We don't get to choose who we're born to. So did you and your grandfather get along?
We got along for the most part, and he was a great guy, and I loved him. Marcus turns the stool to face you.
You're super lucky then. Not everyone can be close with their family. Anyway, I wish I'd met your grandfather.
He smirks and pushes his front curl to the side.
If it weren't creepy, I'd offer you a hug.
Yeah, that would be creepy, I say with a laugh, and... Yeah, that would be creepy, I say with a laugh, keeping things light. Marcus smiles.
I meant nothing by it. When my dog...
Wow, it has been an afternoon.
Marcus smiles.
I meant nothing by it. When my dog Barney died, the only thing that got me to stop crying was a hug from the vet. It's not for everyone, though. One time I offered to hug Tucker's sister when she fell off the top of the step onto the tilt-a-wheel at the summer fair, and Tucker threw a punch at me. He was my ride or die up till then. I had no interest in his sister aside from giving her a moment of comfort. You'd think I'd learned my lesson, right?
Marcus stares at his watch. We need to eat soon, or... Oh, sorry, it's Marcus talking.
We need to eat soon, or I'm calling in for sandwiches. I'm going to head to the kitchen and see if I can sneak a drumstick. Good talking to you.
See you later. The classical music in the grand hall switches to soft jazz, and dinner party guests start making their way into the dining room to find their seats. The chatter of conversation thins out, though enough people remain at the bar for one last cocktail. Mayor Bumpley hurries through the grand hall past his guests and stops at the glass door to the garden. He knocks to gain the attention of Sheriff Ray, who's been outside since the cocktail hour began. The sheriff nods and enters the house and joins the mayor, and the two move through the double doors of the library, which close behind them. I'm going to head over to Lacey on the balcony. Seeing Lacey alone, you climb the grand staircase to the second floor and make your way to her. She has her phone in hand and strokes the screen angrily with her finger.
I can't get this stupid thing to work,
she says, tilting the phone and swiping the screen. What's that? She shows you the phone, where a video image of a room flickers in and out. An X pops over the display. It's a monitor for my home, so I can see my daughter Gina while I'm out. It's not that I don't trust her nanny, but it gives me peace of mind. That makes sense. I suck at tech stuff. All I do on my phone is play games or order food. Lacey nods. You still know more than me. She tilts the phone and stares back over the balcony. This party filled up fast. There must be 30 people here now. Lots of movers and shakers in town are campaign donors. Not sure the last time you visited the Heights, but... Her voice fades as you focus on the screen of her phone. A toddler playing with a tea set. Next to her sits an old woman on a bed. She reaches toward the girl, but her wrist ends in a sharp stub. As you watch, the woman turns and smiles at the camera, her few teeth crooked and charcoal gray. Are you listening to me? She asks, her voice raised. Sorry, I was looking at the old woman with your daughter. Lacey stares at the screen, swiping wildly. Woman? Huh? What are you talking about? You look over her shoulder at the phone. In the frame, the little girl sits alone in the room. There was an old woman on the edge of the bed watching your daughter. She's very old with white hair, wrinkles, and a dark dress. Her right hand is gone. Lacey shoots you a troubled look. I don't know if you're delusional or you're drunk or high, but my daughter's being watched by my 17-year-old neighbor. See? A teenager walks in the room with a plate of carrot sticks. Jenna perks up and hands her a teacup. But there was a woman. She smiled at me. Look, I don't know if this is a sick prank or what, but I don't appreciate it. She pushes past you and walks away. The image of a one-handed woman with a crooked smile flashes in your mind. Your hands feel clammy, and a chill runs down your spine. You shake your head until her face disappears. With Lacey gone, you return to the first floor. A bell rings at the front of the grand hall. Mayor Bumpley stands before double doors with arm raised like a conductor. Everyone, attention! Dinner is now served. Please leave your drinks here and follow me inside. The chefs have done an absolutely perfect job tonight. You will not believe your eyes or your taste buds. And with that thought of dinner, I will leave the story here. I want to thank you all for joining me. We will be back next week for Story Hour. We were not going to be doing Friday Fright Night or our Sunday Fun Day stream. Both of those are being put on hold. I'm going away for the weekend, so I won't be around to do them. You're more than welcome, though, to catch up on past episodes on the YouTube. This episode as well will be appearing on YouTube hopefully before tomorrow, but I can't make promises. And we will be back next week. Until then, have a good one.